And I don't know if there's a little bit of a theme here. Mark's got really good mates. And now we've got another one coming here. But his name is George Taulealea, and him and Mark were just, they'd come over sometimes and get together, and they were like little kids. Get excited, and they were just talking about nothing. But Mark loved them, and he loved Mark. So we're going to ask George to come up, and he's going to, share a few words about Mark as well.
Thanks, Huli. Great MC. Talofa, my name is George Leilua Fonganga Taulealeausumai. E mumu lava au te whafte atu fo pe ia man maru le tua. Whape fo le ainga NUA, ma le au walaulia ma le au fia. Well, Mark and I met years ago, 33 years ago, when he was post-NFL and he was coming home to be a coach for New Zealand. And before that, when they found out the news, we were devastated, all of us, the gridiron community. And I'm here just to represent them. There's a lot of families here. He loved his Metro Lions. I was a Henderson Ranger, so that's enough said there. The Rangers and the Lions, we'll leave it at that. But I loved them because I loved Mark. And we're here to speak on behalf of the gridiron community. Russell's here, CEO, and Wayne Wright, the Polisi family, the Palalangi family, a lot of old mates, and the Stowers family, the Merediths. But we all feel the loss. I spent the whole week crying. I was thinking, oh my gosh, and then I'd recover, then I'd cry. And a good mate of mine, Eddie Tawai, who used to play for New Zealand with me, we're similar size, and we would mark little nuggets, and he'd call us his pit bulls. And I'd think, well, those two pit bulls have been poodles this week, just crying. And Eddie would say, I can't believe it. I said, I can't believe it. But it was just, when I cry, I thought, oh, geez, what would Mark be thinking right now? And he'd be going, come on, man. Jeez. Pull yourself together. And I'll be thinking, and then I snap out of it. But he was a great New Zealand coach, and he was really amazing steward of the game, knew everything. We were so privileged to have his NFL experience and his University of Hawaii experience. And when you ask too many questions, what about this? How should I block this guy? Should I come up here? Should I go? He'd just go, just smash him in the mouth. And I think, that's not very technical, Mark, but he would roast us. And one day me and Eddie were struggling in a gases. You got to run 4 lengths of the field, and that's 1. 4 lengths of the field. And we was trailing at the back, and we were lagging. And I thought, oh man, I can feel it. He goes, hey, you two fat Oompa Loompas, pick up the pace. And I'll be like, okay. I'd go up to him at the end and go, why do you make an example of us, me and Eddie? And he goes, because you are my senior players, and if I roast you guys, nobody's safe. And I thought, oh yeah, but can you use less derogatory, fatso, Oompa Loompa? Can you use something a little more positive, bro? And the amount of mental damage he did on half of us players. He was so awesome, man. I mean, we'd have things where he'd say everyone lights out, early training in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. So everyone lights out at 10. And he'll go around, knock on all the doors. Turn that PlayStation off. Go to sleep. Turn your phone off. Then come to my door. This is when you become a senior player. Should we go out? And I go, yeah, but don't go hard on me if I'm slack at training tomorrow. But he loved his players. He loved coaching. I was so proud of him, and I was so proud of his achievements. And what people didn't realize is that I always used to vouch for him, because people before Jared Hayne hit the 49ers, before Jordan Mailata went to the Eagles, before Jordan Betea became a Wallaby that went to the Chargers, there was Mark. And there's Mark NUA and David Dixon, those two, real trailblazers. And the reason why I used to always uplift that story is because he wouldn't. He was so humble. And it used to annoy me. I was like, man, people think Jared Haynes the first one. He goes, don't worry about it. I said, no, I do worry about it because, you guys, what I used to say is they did it in a time when there was no social media. You couldn't put your highlight reels up on a TikTok or get it into some franchise that could watch you. It was done the hard way. A paper clipping of his art, shot put got to Hawaii. He then had to go there and prove himself. He didn't know much football. He played a couple of seasons with Metro, but he did it without the social media or the tools that they have today. There was no pathways. There was no inroad. It was just him and Dave doing it the hard way. And I think that people that trailblaze, they go through the jungle and they cut the path. Then everyone after them, it's a breeze. And I look up to him like, man, you were the first. And I wanted to document that. So 3 years ago, I said to him, let's put your story together. And he goes, nah, don't worry about it, bro. And I said, no, it has to be done. You never know. So I just ignored him and I just put this little short doco together about his rise from here all the way to the NFL. And he was chuffed, but he wouldn't say it. He'd just go, oh, pretty good, bro. But I was going, can I post it? Because I want people to know what you've done. And he goes, nah, just make it for me. If you put it up, put it under Creme La Porta. I went, Creme La Porta? What about Mark Noor? He goes, no, I don't want people to know. And I went, okay, for those of you who don't know what La Porta is, that means fat. And he says, he called himself Fatty, right? And Cram, his fair cryptic, is Mark backwards. So he goes, put up Creme La Porta, no one will find it. Well, they all found it now, brother, because I posted that everywhere. So he wanted to be under the radar, but I think we need to celebrate this guy, what he's done for us, and what he's done. And he's a pioneer. I mean, him and Wayne Wright started another league, which was just outside the box thinking. He was a humble man, and he didn't really want to draw any attention to himself, but some funny stories about him. I mean, I think this job at OT softened him, because he was grumpy, and I thought, man, this guy's got to spend some time with kids, and he ended up getting a job working with kids. So I thought, it's now your job. You have to be nice. Mark was so funny. I mean, you could see that in his acting roles. And my grandson went through a Power Rangers phase. And I said, see that giant? I'll show you this episode. See that giant? That's Uncle Mark. And he goes, no, it's not. I said, it is. And he looked and he couldn't believe it. So the next time he came over, my grandson was like, can I have an autograph? It wasn't for football. It was for being the giant on Power Rangers. He was so funny. He was a chick magnet, eh? Would go out and I just think, I don't know how this guy. I turn around and there's 3 blondes in the corner talking to him, and he says, ooh, 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 ooh. I'm thinking, bro, you're not even handsome. I don't know how you do that. But he just, those eyebrows, and he goes, oh, use your imaginations, George. But, and he'd ask my wife, Farrah, got any pretty girls you can hook me up with? And she'd go, you got to go to church. They're all at church, Mark. And then they'll go quiet. Lunch dates, our religious lunch date every month, hilarious. He'd text me and it'll be, KFC's got a special on. I say, oh yeah, I don't feel like KFC. Well, let's go to Cleaver, all you can eat ribs, Wednesday. And I said, okay. Now, when it says all you can eat, these people haven't met Mark. And they're going to go out of business. We went to one cafe and he goes, can I have 3 big breakfasts? And she goes, yep, sure. Then I come up and she goes, he's ordered. And I go, no, that's for him. I haven't even ordered. That's his breakfast. And same thing with the all-you-can-eat ribs. They bring them out 4 at a time. And Mark's going, what's this? And he goes, you got to bring them in 12s, bring them in 12s. And they thought he was joking. But like 80 ribs later, keep bringing them, keep bringing them. And I could see their face was like, I've never seen anyone eat so many ribs. But he was just so funny. He just said, keep them coming. But we will miss them so much. Those lunch dates, just look at my phone. The last one was on the 10th, and I thought, man, that was this month. And I'll go to Jester's Pie this month and eat as many pies as I can, because you love those pies. But I just want to leave you with a word of encouragement that, friends, you just don't know when they're going to go. So I came up with this thing, EULOGY now. Say the nice things now while they're alive, before they're gone. Because he was it was a real blessing to me and to many. And it's a great opportunity just to give back to him what he used to avoid, which is praise. So I just thank the Lord for Mark's life. He blessed a lot of us. Just take him now, Lord, to rest. In Jesus' name. Thank you.
Thanks, George. Thanks for sharing those stories from a side of his life that many of us don't really know about. But